Let's take a look at the graphics industry. So, who are we anyway? We are content creators. We are visual designers. We are graphic designers, photographers, videographers, animators, and web designers. We are represented in the NAICS system, or North American Industry Classification System, kind of in an interesting way. So 54143 is graphic design services, and this industry comprises establishments primarily engaged in planning, designing, and managing the production of visual communication in order to convey specific messages or concepts, or to clarify complex information, or project visual identities. These services, according to the classification, can include the design of printed materials, packaging, and advertising, signage systems, and corporate identification, i.e. logos. This industry also includes commercial artists engaged exclusively in generating drawings and illustrations, requiring technical accuracy or interpretive skills. The next one is custom computer programming services, and that's where they put software design, development, and publishing, or software publishing only. There is also a classification for software publishers, 511210, which has as a subset web, internet page design services. Then we come to commercial photography. This U.S. industry is comprised of establishments primarily engaged in providing commercial photography services, generally for advertising agencies, publishers, and other business and industrial users. The next one for video production is actually under classification of motion picture and video production. And this industry is comprised mostly of establishments primarily engaged in producing and distributing motion pictures, videos, television programs, or television commercials. They include video editing within this category. And then finally we have computer animation, which is actually a subset of the motion picture category. And there are over 25 different subcodes under this one, but this is where you will find computer animation. Let's take a look at graphic design. There's two ways to look at that industry. There's the actual design trends, which they are saying are going to be semi-flat design, cinemagraphs, more 3D, animation, etc. And then there's also the actual employment growth. So we have some really great sites with their projections listed under the links this week, which is under reading links and things you need to know. Definitely check out the Behance Design Predictions. The Bureau of Labor Statistics sees overall growth of 7%. However, employment of graphic designers in computer systems design and related service is projected to grow 21% over the same period. With the increasing use of the internet, companies are increasing their digital presence, and graphic designers will be needed to help create visually appealing and effective layouts of websites. Take a look at some of these categories. Of course, a lot of them depend on where you live and how much experience you have. But I would definitely be sure to check out the predictions for our field, for the graphics field, by clicking on the Graphic Design USA link on our site. Next, let's take a look at commercial photography and videography. Video continues to be a very, very important part of a commercial photographer's portfolio. But no matter how digital we get, some of the best results are shoot like it's film, or even try film. Actually, film is having a little bit of a renaissance in some areas. I highly doubt it will come back for full commercial photographers, as there's no time for that. At the other end, of course, are new technologies that are truly impacting the field. VR and 360. Active viewing is a huge thing now. High-speed imagery has left the engineering field and has come completely into advertising. Check out some of the food commercials that you see sometimes. And then there's really high-end image editing. A lot of people make their living just being image editors. Video editing is really becoming critical and is expected to grow even faster than the other types. And to be successful, you really do need to separate yourself from the amateur market. And I'm certainly not demeaning any market, but the wedding and portrait photography market is more what we refer to as almost the civilian market. You can make a good living, but the real money is in commercial photography. So the potential can be starting $40,000 in-house to over $100,000 as an independent photographer. Employment of self-employed photographers is projected to grow 9% through 2024. In addition, corporations will continue to require the services of commercial photographers, according to predictions, because advertising is never going to go away. Declines in the newspaper industry will actually reduce demand for news photographers to provide still images for print, which is kind of sad. I think digital phones has let editors think they can send a reporter out with a phone instead of a real photographer, but that's a discussion for another time. And sadly, employment of photographers in newspaper publishing is projected to decline over 41% by 2024. Now we come to web design. Much of the following information on this slide is from an article posted to our reading links and things you need to know from a link titled Top Web Design Trends to Watch in 2017. Experts are saying that we are definitely going to see more VR and 360 video finally bleeding into the web design space, especially as headsets become more affordable and usable. WebGL, a way to render interactive 3D and 2D graphics inside browsers with hardware acceleration without any plugins, is becoming very popular. Check out a site called TurboSquid, and again that is in our links, and to get ready to go 3D models that you can just animate in your websites. Card layouts, of course, most of you are familiar with that. It's a very dynamic grid style that has really gained favor among web designers. Grid layouts are particularly suitable for pages with an abundance of data, as they make the information more accessible and enticing. Conversational interfaces are expected to become big, with tools like Botisfy and Chatfuel helping simplify the process of actually setting up your own customized bot. And then, of course, there's easier than ever to find quality photos. So hopefully the decline of cheesy stock photos, but the unintended consequence of this may be the downgrading of the pro market for photography, as many stock sites are free or charge very little. Cinemagraphs, which are quite cool, are making a significant impact in terms of getting higher user engagement, which is why there is a much wider adoption of them. And GIFs, of course, great old standby, always allow for effective storytelling. Animation. Even though large companies such as DreamWorks and companies like that are actually downsizing, the very large employers are shrinking, but there is a move towards freelance and small studios. Basically, the rapid advancement of technology has made computer animation available to the masses, and the animation industry actually turns out to be one of the fastest growing industries. There is a huge demand for animated entertainment that coincides with the increase in broadcasting hours and really the need for content 24/7. There's also great possibilities for virtual collaborations. There's a lot of people working globally together on projects. So there's opportunities in multinational studios. Another thing is growth of VR. Good animation is needed to have quality VR. High-end 3D is expected to grow, and there's a lot of brand collaboration combining entertainment and marketing that is a huge demand for good quality animation. So the size of the global animation industry was about $244 billion in 2015. I'm not able to put my finger on a number for this year, but it just continues to grow. And the major animation markets are the US, Canada, Japan, China, France, Britain, Korea, and Germany. Again, take a look at some of the links that are posted on our website for more details on these trends. So, to sum up, we are definitely trending towards more hyper-personalized communications. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody that all marketing and communication is moving towards tailoring it towards the individual. Interactivity is becoming huge. People want to interact with the experience, not just be a passive viewer. There's also what they refer to as niche experiences, small slices of the market that will draw smaller audiences. Mobile, of course, will continue to dominate. We will never not be tethered to our phones or some device like that. And machine learning and artificial intelligence are going to power more and more of our interfaces. And during this session, we will talk about that from time to time, as there's always interesting developments happening in AI in our field. And then be sure to look at 2017 design trends, predictions from top creatives. It's in our Reading Links Things section on Blackboard. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts in our discussions as we move forward during this session.